Hey everyone, let's talk about A Very Private Life by Michael Frayn. This book was written in 1968 and Michael Frayn wanted to write a fairy tale of the future, which of course is science fiction, but he wanted to use the language of fairy tales, so Once Upon a Time became in the future, and he set out to write this book in the will future, which in the beginning is really interesting and well put through, but then he stops using it and slips into the simple present, which works as well, but it's a little bit sad because I really like the idea of setting out to have this whole book being like, one day she will do this, and then this will happen, and she will experience this. So what is this book about? This is a story about Uncumber. She's one of the insiders. She belongs to the population part that lives inside. That means they don't go outside. They only live inside the house. They don't have windows. They only have contact to the outside world and to other people via their holovision, which is in their room. And even though they live in family habitats, where as a kid we see her growing up, playing with her brother still and also interacting with her parents, but as they grow older, they never leave their room. They even interact with the people in their own house via the holovision. Uncumber is our main character. We follow her and we see her growing up a little bit rebellious, refusing to take all the pills and mood enhancers or controllers to participate in the social life, which is part of this inside world. Another interesting aspect that happens when she becomes a teenager is that she refuses to wear the dark glasses, which means she doesn't want to put on the dark glasses to hide her inner self. That's all they actually wear. The insiders just don't need clothes, but dark glasses, without them they feel naked. As you can already imagine, it's very hard to meet new people in this very tight social setting. So as Uncumber grows older, it becomes apparent to her that she doesn't really fit in. She wants to talk to someone and she wants to feel connected to someone. So when she has a misdialed call, she kind of falls in love with a stranger, and that's where her adventure begins to take her away from her inside world. Because of course the inside world is not possible without people outside keeping it maintained, making sure that everything works and the systems are running. These people are called the outsiders. And Uncumber can't really imagine how they look until she goes out of her house to meet this man. And that's what the whole story is about. Her leaving the house and meeting this outside world, managing it, what happens there, and I don't really want to spoil the rest of the story. But what I really liked about this book was how it was told. I already mentioned that I liked that it was a future setting and that the idea of this will happen to her, this will be her life, and that it's not a past tense like we normally experience books. But I also like the short chapters. We see short scenes of this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. It really has a fairy tale character to it. I also liked how the world is described, how things that feel normal for us are looked at through her eyes with like, I don't understand how this works. What is this? For example, the way bread is described as something fluffy with holes in it, and why would she eat that? And things like that. It really makes you look at things and be like, oh yeah, to someone who doesn't know what that is, this would look really weird. And the whole life outside feels so strange for her and she doesn't feel it real. And it's really interesting to think about like what is real for a person, what really happens, and how our experiences shape what we imagine as real and what is really real for us. Another aspect that the book makes you think about is what solitary and private actually means, because people consider different things private depending on where they live and in what situation they are. So this is also very interesting, especially considering the ending of the book, how it all turns out for Uncumber and how her life evolves and what happens and how the society keeps evolving. And I really like this. It's a very short book. It's a fast read. It was very entertaining and thought-provoking. And I always like that when you have books that were written long time ago, but actually imagine a future which could be today. And parts of it are very similar to how we live already today. And you can see things evolving in that way or not evolving in that way. And it's very interesting. Let me know if you have read the book or if you have heard of it. Let's talk about this in comments. Bye-bye.